Hallo und herzlich willkommen zurück bei Disco Elysium. Ich bin Esker und ich würde etwa Englisch sprechen, weil ich nicht fließend Deutsch spreche. Aber ich tue mein Bestes. Also, weiter geht's. We were inspecting the body last time. So I'm going to go somewhere else. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 8B.
This Post-Lavantorie mail collection box has been heavily vandalized with graffito. A closer inspection reveals two bullet holes in the front.
It's funny that it says graffito because that's singular, isn't it? In Italian, doesn't the I mean plural? Braver briefkasten, du täckelst den Kasten. Bags going through.
The box seems happy. Eat shit pig, fucked by the coon, and St. G with a crown have been scribbled on it. Jenny is a whore and beset mailbox.
Ich glaube, das beset bedeutet wichtig auf Französisch. Wenn ich recht habe. Yeah.
The mail collection box seems cathartic, thankful even. So do you. You shudder, then you swallow, and then suddenly you see it. Over all the other graffitos, someone has, using the tip of a very sharp knife, cut the words, Revachol forever.
Revachol für immer. Ich bin eins mit der Stadt. Dieses Münzfernrohr ist beschädigt und funktioniert nicht mehr. Mehr Tara zusammen. Richtung Kreisverkehr Nord. Richtung Capeside Apartments. Bootsanleger von Martinez. This rickety old bridge. Cormorant. Ein einsamer Kormoran blickt aufs Meer. Bei deiner Annäherung bleibt er völlig ungerührt. So cute. Ich liebe Vögel. I love birds.
This is a wall on the side of an apartment building.
Warum starre ich diese Wand an?
You have no clue. It's just a wall. So many walls all over Martinez, weather-worn, cracked, their paint peeling.
And Rue de Saint-Ghislain, Kreisverkehr Nord. Capeside Apartments. Ein Container. Signalblauer Marinemantel. Dieser klassische zweireihige Mantel ist für jedermann geeignet.
Up here, Piggo.
Okay, I'll get to you. Selbst für dich. Und falls du es jemals am Steuer eines Schiffes mit den Winden der Weltmeer aufnehmen musst, halt der Schirmmantelstoff dich warm. Auch wenn die Motten einige Löcher hinterlassen haben. +1 Suggestion, Ei Kapitän, -1 Freilicht. Lidsleiche Gelassenheit. Hallo,
The
Mädchen.
streets will flow red once more. A great torrent rushing down Rue de Esperance. You wait and see.
Das Mädchen starrt auf das Steg liegende Segelboot.
The streets will not flow red with anything. Who are you?
I'm Cindy the fucking Skull. What else do you want to know? Date of birth, blood type, the last time I was tested for Hep C.
Sprich nicht in diesem Ton mit mir. Ich vertrete das Gesetz.
Sod off, pigman. Art is above the law.
Kunst steht über dem Gesetz. Trotz ihrer frischen Antwort legt sie den Pinsel zur Seite. Du schaust immer wieder zur Seite. Wo schaust du hin?
The lieutenant furrows his brow at another one of your eccentricisms.
That wasn't what was said. That was a little bug. Sie deutet mit einem verächtlichen Nicken auf die Frau, die für Wartungsarbeiten auf dem Steg liegenden Bootstück vor.
Hatred, disgust. It's difficult to tell which of the two is more present in her girlish features. The woman on the boat does not notice her staring.
That is on her. Someone's got to keep an eye on her.
Wer ist sie?
Probably the Wild Pines rep. We should talk to her. She's a professional negotiator, though. I have the feeling she will be very cooperative while telling us nothing.
Sehr kooperativ sein und trotzdem uns nichts verraten.
You should take the lead. Ask her unexpected questions, you know? Do your thing. Don't be afraid to get a bit wacky. Throwing her off is our best bet.
Ich kann exzentrisch sein. Keine Sorge, Kim.
Good idea, piggies. Run along now. Fuck her shit up good. Impound that boat while you're at it. I'd like to watch her swim back to us on.
Was machst du da an der Mauer?
Can't you tell? I'm painting a beautiful mural, an aereo graffitio visible from low orbit. I haven't really started it yet. I'm waiting for the right words.
Sie begutachtet die Mauer und wird plötzlich nachdenklich. Du weißt also nicht, was du schreiben sollst?
Have you ever tried your hand at graffitio? When faced with a blank wall, most people write unimaginative stuff, like pigs go home and Mono is here.
It just says graffito. I think that's the mistake of the voice actress saying graffitio.
We rarely see pigs round here, though. Just union cats. And my name's not Mona, so...
Warum willst du unbedingt das Gebäude veranstalten?
This place is severely lacking in havoc. Not even the occasional trash can fire to break up the tedium. I thought I'd mix it up, you know. Summon the forces of crime and social chaos. With a wall-sized invitation.
Ich habe eine Meinung dazu. Willst du sie hören? Du fährst fort.
Yeah?
Ich muss sich leider aufhalten. Das ist Rowdytum. I need to make different choices than I made the first time.
Let's be realistic. What are you going to do? Climb up there?
You heard your partner, Piggy. I'm unstoppable.
I don't condone the idea of using physical force on her. She's a girl.
Huh. Funny. So we have morals. Weißt du irgendwas über den Mord, der vor kurzem passiert ist?
I ain't no snitch, pigstein. Go forth and forage in someone else's shit. No shortage of squealers in these parts.
Pigstein.
Actually, there is a shortage of people who talk to us in a normal, calm, informative manner.
We weren't put on this earth to make your life pleasant, fucko.
Klugscheiße. I've never heard that insult before, but now it is permanently in my repertoire. Bis später, Cindy.
Watch your back, ungulate. You've got eyes on you.
Tier. Drinnen siehst du ein zerlegtes Motorrad samt Werkzeug. Anscheinend standen hier weitere Bauten, damals für Jahrzehnten. Magnesium! Yay! Der Rumpf dieses Bootes strahlt, als sei er vor kurzem gestrichen worden. Anleger für Anwohner der Rue de Saint-Ghislain 33a. Dein Zimmer in Whirling ist nicht viel größer als diese Chalupa.
A striking woman leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat, smiling as you approach. Her green raincoat glistens with droplets. A silk scarf is tied around her throat.
Good afternoon, officers. I'm Joyce.
Sie streckt zur Begrüßung die Hand aus.
Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbour. You gentlemen must be from the RCM.
Sie tritt näher heran und streckt euch über den Railing die Hand entgegen. Joyce L. Wofür steht das L?
Phaeton, my maiden name.
Ihre knochige Hand baumelt aus den Ärmel ihres übergroßen Regenmantels. Was genau ist denn die BMR? Die Abkürzung habe ich irgendwo schon mal gehört. I'm not gonna say that. Was hat das verraten?
Nothing, honestly. I've said it to every drunk in town, and you're the first one who's responded.
Schüttelt ihr die Hand.
I'm glad to see you here.
Ihr Handdruck ist fest und kalt. Kalt. Sie ist eine kalte Frau.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will, gladly.
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode. Very unusual. But I can assure you of his ultimate competency.
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation, and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines Group.
Sie sind an Bord eines Bootes.
Why, yes I am.
Sie blickt auf das Deck unter ihren Füßen. Über ihrem Kopf flattern grün-weiße Segel. Man sieht nicht viele Leute auf Booten, oder?
Of course there are. We're on an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get around?
Moment, wir befinden uns auf einem Archipel. Du blickst dich um.
Yes, we are. We are on Le Caillou.
Caillou? Ich dachte, wir wären in Revachol.
We are. And the city of Revachol is on the island of Le Caillou.
Wie dem auch sei, ich habe hier sonst niemand mit einem Boot herumgesegeln sehen.
I haven't seen anyone else drive a souped-up Capri Kenema motor carriage either.
Actually, that motor carriage has been specially issued to serve as a patrol and pursuit vehicle.
I love that Kim's protective of his car.
It's for crossing long distances in the greater Revachol industrial harbor. It's not a toy.
Neither is this. A toy, I mean. It's a machine for crossing long distances in the Bay of Revachol, between the city and the islands.
Hat es einen Namen? And in English, does she have a name? Because in English, you refer to boats and cars with she to make it, because it's more personal. It's like a person that protects you, a mother. And I like that about English, that we call boats and cars and sometimes even the earth she. Nations are she. Hat es einen Namen?
The boat? No. It is called Cordelati 19 because that's the type of sloop it is.
And because she calls it, she calls the boat it shows how cold she is. Okay, aber was für ein Bootstyp ist das?
It's a pleasure craft, a 19 pacer. It also happens to be rated for Category 1 racing. Though these days I mainly use it for business.
Wie gefällt es Ihnen?
My sloop? I like it a lot. It's the eel's hips, baby.
I'm enjoying this part of the interview. It has so little to do with the murder we're investigating.
Haben Sie einen Führerschein für dieses Boot?
Officer, I assure you I'm a highly qualified pleasure craft operator.
The crowns of her teeth are porcelain, white as the boat's hull as she smiles. Qualified pleasure craft operator. So charming. Where's the damn license?
Können Sie mir bitte Ihren Führerschein zeigen?
I just renewed its safety inspection last month, officers. It is completely seaworthy. In fact, it's taken part in not one, but two insulindic regattas. Even finished once.
Was ist bei der anderen Regatta passiert?
The other time, I would have finished the race were it not for an urgent work matter, much like the one I'm on now.
Ich muss trotzdem darauf bestehen, dass Sie mir einen Führerschein zeigen.
Actually, you don't.
Ich bin mir ziemlich sicher, dass ich das muss. Ich führe eine Kontrolle durch.
It is a little known fact among those who police that the Wayfarer Act specifically denies the RCM the authority to demand anyone's operator license.
Moment, wie unbekannt ist diese Tatsache denn?
I was just being polite. Even school children know the Wayfarer Act.
Es ist womöglich auch am besten so. Mal in Ernst. Schauen Sie mich doch bloß an.
No need to resort to self-pity, Detective. You can still ask for her passport.
Ja, zeigen Sie bitte Ihren Pass.
Of course.
Sie kramt in die Taschen ihres Regenmantels und zieht einen Dokumentenbündel in einem verschlossenen Plastikbeutel hervor. Du siehst dir ihren Pass an.
The woman is silent, smiling while the waves lap against the hull. In your hand, under the plastic, a light blue passport saying, Republic of Vespa. The coat of arms has a lion and an ostrich. Seigent.
Du siehst dir Seite mit dem Foto an.
The woman, born in the year 3 in the commune of Revachol, smiles at you. Face adorned with frown lines and crow's feet. The photo is recent. The name reads, Rejoice Leighton Messier.
Sie heißen Rejoice,
Yes. But please don't call me that.
which means Freuen oder Erfreuen auf Deutsch. Spelled with an I.
Joyce is much more efficient.
Sie kommen aus Vespa.
My husband is. I have dual citizenship. A Vespertine is handier when travelling.
Scheint alles in Ordnung zu sein. Du gibst ihr die Dokumente zurück.
She nods and returns the plastic bag to her coat.
Ich glaube, ich weiß jetzt über das Boot Bescheid. Du schließt das Thema ab.
Good.
Wissen Sie etwas über diese Tattoo-Führungen? Du zeigst ihr das
That's the
Foto.
man who was killed. I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question.
Also, wissen Sie etwas über die Tätowierungen?
Better not tie the fourth day to the bat's day on this. I hope there is something else I can help you with.
Was können Sie mir über diesen Lynchmord erzählen?
Quite a few things, I'm afraid.
Sie verstummt kurz und denkt über etwas nach.
The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers.
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves. I am Lieutenant Kitsuragi from Precinct 57. And this is my colleague from Precinct 41. I'm afraid he doesn't have his badge at the moment. I hope mine will suffice.
How curious. Why is that, Detective?
Erinnern Sie noch, wie mein Partner Ihnen erzählt hat, bei mir sei vor kurzem ein ungewöhnliches medizinisches Problem aufgetreten? Der Verlust meines Ausweises steht in Zusammenhang damit.
I see. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode?
Vielleicht habe ich ihn auch gegessen. Ich weiß nichts mehr, weder über diese Welt noch über diese Stadt. Nix.
Oh dear. I suppose this does explain some of the more curious turns in our conversation.
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional, but he is an officer of the RCM.
Of course, I sympathize, but I'm afraid I simply can't share anything more until I've seen that badge.
Hang on. She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement.
Was für eine Vereinbarung wäre das?
I mean, favors for favors. A dirty alliance of some sort.
Was kann ich ihr für einen Handel anbieten?
Feelings will guide the way.
Oh Gott. Aber ich muss mehr über diesen Lynchmord erfahren, gute Frau. Das ist sehr wichtig für mich. Ist es der Fall, den ich gerade löse?
I assure you, it is no small matter for me either. We all share the responsibility for disarming this situation. I hope you have a badge for me as soon as possible.
Sie haben so viele andere Dinge. Ich habe nur das hier. Du breitest deine Arme aus. Das hier ist meine ganze Existenz.
She's silent. The wind flaps the sail above her.
Zum Beispiel dieses Boot. Und irgendwo haben sie ein Zuhause. Ich habe nur diesen Fall.
Officer,
Ich kann mir an nichts außer diesen Lynchmord erinnern. Es gibt nur diese Coaster und diesen Lynchmord.
you know, I don't mean to sound cold, but if you want something, you have to give something back. More than just guilt.
You're doing it. Despite your own best efforts, you're still getting it.
Despite.
Somehow.
Obwohl.
I'll be frank with you. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it to my superiors. They're going to want to see something tangible.
Zum Beispiel?
The Union is conducting drug trade out of the harbour. It's an open secret in Martinez. Surely it must not come as a complete surprise to the RCM either. Perhaps it's time to look into it. Or you can find your badge, which honestly seems like a lost cause.
Detective, a word in private before we continue.
Entschuldigen Sie uns bitte einen Augenblick.
This is not going quite as I hoped it would, Detective.
He got really quiet. Das läuft nicht unbedingt so, wie ich es mir vorgestellt hatte, Detective. Die Stimme des Lieutenants ist gedämpft. Auf welchen Gesprächsverlauf hatten Sie denn gehofft?
Honestly, I was expecting you to use your unorthodox technique to keep her off balance and, not volunteer us to be her henchman.
Im Ernst? Und ich dachte, hier wäre alles ernsthaft.
This woman is running circles around us. She might have known about your misplaced badge all along, or she's simply an adept improviser. Either way, we've played straight into her hands.
Was schlagen Sie vor, dass wir diesem Drogenschmuggel nicht nachgehen?
No. If there is reasonable suspicion, we must investigate. Otherwise, she could claim we are siding with the Union, or that we are on their take. We'd never hear the end of it. What I propose is, we ask her, then we investigate, briefly. But do not share the outcome of this investigation with her. We tell her it's done and demand for her information on the lynching.
Sounds good to me. Dann reden wir weiter mit dir. Du schließt das Thema ab.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Okay, erzählen Sie mir von diesem angeblichen Drogenschmuggel.
It's quite straightforward. Someone is using Terminal B to smuggle raw ingredients from the Samar and Isola into Revachol with the Union's blessing. Wild Pines has suspected it for years.
Ingredients for what, ma'am?
Meth and dextroamphetamine, GBL, and various synthetic psychedelics. Honestly, it might be quicker to say what you can't make from the stuff.
Shit, yeah, baby.
Oh no.
It's the party pipeline. Why would you want to shut that down?
Oh no. I'm gonna say it just because the skill has it, but that's awful. Elektrochemie, no. Warum versuchen Sie die Party-Pipeline stillzulegen?
I assure you, officer, these are not the sort of parties you'd want to attend.
She has no idea what kind of parties you've been to.
Damit ich das richtig verstehe, die Rohstoff gelangen durch die Verladestation aus Samar nach Revachol?
Yes. After they clear the terminal, we lose track. The actual production is taking place at various sites in and around Jamrock Quarter, north of here.
Wild Pine seems to be well apprised of the local drug trade, ma'am. Do you mean to say the Union also produces the product? Sells drugs, I mean?
We're in logistics. It's our business to know. And no. As far as the company knows, the Union does not produce it. They transport the ingredients for a cut.
Und Sie wollen, dass wir der Sache auf den Grund gehen.
Yes, but you won't get anything out of Evrat and the Dockworkers Union. Still, every chain has its weak link.
I'm gonna take it literally. Brauche ich dafür einen Bolzenschneider?
Unlikely, officer. I'm talking about the lorries. Once the ingredients reach Jamrock, they're distributed to a network of local manufacturers, well beyond our grasp. But in transit, they may be vulnerable. Perhaps you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam at the roundabout just now. Interview the drivers who are still hanging about. One of them might be waiting for a crucial shipment.
Sie wirft dir einen vielsagenden Blick zu.
I'll be explicit. If you find this driver, I will share company secrets with you.
Warum haben Sie sich nicht früher an die BMR gewandt?
We did. On more than one occasion. Apparently, there's some sort of inter-precinct disagreement about whose jurisdiction this area falls
That's fair.
under.
We know the company has launched its own probe into the Union's alleged involvement. We also know it's come up empty. It's not just the RCM. No one's been able to find any hard evidence.
Well, here's your chance, officers.
Es ist kein Zufall, dass die Lastwagen dort gestrandet sind, oder?
No. We asked East Motor Track to raise the drawbridge. The road company is a partner of one of our
Ooh.
subsidiaries. However,
It was Wild Pines that caused the traffic the traffic jam. Sie hält inne und blickt auf das Meer.
This is a limited
Das
time
Schau.
opportunity. Once the complaint has been processed by the Trade Committee, they'll have no choice but to lower the drawbridge, and the operation will continue.
Sie blickt nach Norden.
Thousands of litres of raw ingredients will pour onto the streets of Revachol. Not the east across the river, but the west. The vulnerable, the weary.
Cold breath rushes in from the bay, making its way down the alleyways and potholed streets. From Martinez to Jamrock, in the traffic you hear the clinking of glass vials, concealed beneath tarpaulin. Or is it just your teeth chattering in the cold?
I had to look up what Elend means. Misery. Was für ein verdammtes Elend.
A lot of it. It comes in from large Samaran factories in South Safre, Sigai, and Sinyao. The literage they must get from this terminal alone must be oceanic.
It's funny that she tries to pronounce everything correctly.
Well, at least this solves one mystery.
What is that, Lieutenant?
Why I had to call East Motor Tract and beg them to open a drawbridge for me. I'd wondered since I first drove in, on my motor carriage.
I am sorry for the inconvenience, Lieutenant Kisaragi, but we need them trapped here. This is a unique opportunity. I'm sure you understand.
Welche Beweise haben Sie dafür, dass die Gewerkschaft in die Sache verstrickt ist?
How do you think they're financing this strike? There are thousands of unpaid dock workers going strong for the 4th month straight.
There was a shakedown of local businesses preceding the strike. Many were squeezed to bankruptcy to fund it.
With all due respect to these desert cacti, the contents of a few cash registers cannot provide for 2,000 men. The local businesses can scarcely provide for themselves.
Sie denken also, dass der Streik durch Drogenrohstoff finanziert wird?
Precisely. Smuggled out of that very gate at night, most likely, then loaded onto lorries and driven to Jamrock. You simply need to find one driver who will open up to you.
Okay, ich habe über die Schmuggelermittlung nachgedacht.
Yes?
Wir übernehmen den Fall und befragen die Fahrer. Mal sehen, was dabei herauskommt.
Excellent.
Ausgezeichnet.
According to my reports, there are at least 3 lorry drivers lingering near the roundabout. Hopefully one of them will know something. It may come to nothing, or it may just blow the case wide open. I can keep the drawbridge up for a few more days at least. You should have the time you need. In the meantime, let me know if there's any other way I may be of assistance.
That's all for now. Actually, I'm gonna ask her for money. Sie sind reich aus. Können Sie mir etwas Geld geben?
Is what you want to say, but it isn't that easy, is it? What is this? An athletic challenge? Scream it from the top of your lungs immediately. Show that asshole.
Sie sehen reich aus. Können Sie mir etwas Geld geben?
You're thinking it, but your lips are not moving.
Was? Warum nicht?
Look at that lady. Take a gander. Squint your eyes, bub.
Bürschchen. Welches schimmerndes Haar.
A well-kempt, yet tastefully short bob of dark hair. Despite the first hints of grey, she's elected to keep it au natural, shaped into a permanent wave, late 40s style. While dull orange pearls hang from her earlobes, red from the cold. Her light green eyes scan you, full of knowledge and worry.
Ja,
Wealth and all its possibilities.
ja, und?
Now look at you. You misery-clad simian,
No.
barely able to tie your own laces. Your armpits are lakes. A scythe of booze precedes you. Your hair sticks to your forehead and your underwear feels uncomfortable. You're poor. Poor as balls. You can't ask this person for money. You're too.
Scham, an die sollte ich auch empfinden. Schon dafür, dass ich überhaupt darüber nachgedacht habe. Sie ist eine Frau und ich bin ein Mann.
Yes. You should be able to
Sexism.
take care of yourself. Not grovel at her beautiful feet, dishonoring yourself and your organization with this request.
As I was saying, if there's any way I may be of assistance, please don't hesitate to ask.
Let's try it, 28%. Kann ich etwas Geld haben?
I am sorry. It just doesn't come out of your mouth.
Ach,
What does is.
Excuse me? I didn't hear you.
Ihre Stimme ist freundlich, etwas heißer vom Wind.
What you meant to say was.
Danke, das wäre first alles.
Of course, Detective. Take care.
Okay. No money. I probably won't be able to get it. In my first playthrough I did, because I was playing as a sensitive archetype with a lot of psyche. The purple. Lila. Ich will mit anderen Leuten sprechen. Eine gewaltige tektonische Kraft hat das Pflaster geknackt, wie eine Eierschale. Halt, da unten zwischen den Lasten liegen Zigaretten. Hold sie dir. Zigaretten Astra. Diese in Grad hergestellten Zigaretten weisen einen auffällig hohen Tiergehalt ein. Ein absoluter Favorit unter Fischern, Polizisten und Arbeitern auf der ganzen Welt. So I've decided that I'm not going to have any alcohol or drugs, but maybe I'll do cigarettes. Because I don't think Kim will get mad at us for that. He smokes. A strike. Hello, sir.
Bastards! We have a right to work!
Brüllt der Mann in Richtung der Hafentore. Seine Stimme ist die lauteste in der Menge und klingt für einen Mann seiner Größe einartig kreischend. Kreischend? Not really. Ich vertrete das Gesetz.
Yes. People get that you are the law. You really don't have to keep saying it.
I want to. Alright. In French. Alright.
Hold up and stay frosty, everyone. Cops are here.
Der Leitwolf mit den breiten Schultern dreht sich vor zu dir. Überragt alle anderen hier einen
You here to fuck with us?
ganzen Kopf.
Beat the honest worker down.
Warum sollte ich?
We're here to fight for a cause. Stripes usually have problems with people who have causes.
Okay, nein, ich schätze nicht.
Good. We're fighting for a cause here. Right to work! Right to work! Besides, we're not that different. It helps if people see us talking, cops and strikebreakers together. Shows authorities are on our side. Builds confidence.
Von was für einem Ziel reden wir?
Rights of people. Rights of workers. To have gainful employment. To make a salary. And feed their families.
Ich glaube nicht, dass ich mich bereits auf eine Seite geschlagen habe.
Might be time. Don't let the fat bastards tread on you. Cops tend to side with the higher-ups, but you're essentially still workers. I don't trust cops, but I can see you understand the right to work! Right to work!
Wenn dem auch sei, ich habe einige Fragen an Sie.
Maybe you should ask them the questions, like why we're not allowed to make a living here. Shame on you! We have families to feed, you piece of shit.
Zeigt mit dem Finger auf den Mann, der auf dem Gelände sitzt.
So do we, Scott.
Ich will auch in den Hafen.
Have fun. Union shits are on full strike. Don't think they're going to let you through the gates. You trying to meet their fat boss?
Ich befrage die Leute zu einem Mord, der sich hier ereignet hat, hinter dem Hostel dort.
I know nothing about a murder.
Seine Antwort ist scharf und knapp. Absolut gar nichts.
Wouldn't put it past these harbor bugs. They'd do anything to stay alive. Right to work! It's shameful. Cops doing nothing. You should bring backup. Open up the gates for us. Blockading gainful employment for workers is a crime.
What's a Fachgebiet? Expertise. Das ist echt nicht mein Fachgebiet.
We are not picking a side in this just yet, sir.
Pity. Let us work!
Was ist ein Strike?
When a bunch of ungrateful, lazy cockroaches can't get
Kakerlaken.
their act together, decide to block honest work for other people.
Er bewegt sich unbehaglich in seinem Arbeitsanzug hin und her. Was wollen Sie streikenden?
Beats me. They mumble nonsense about boardrooms and workers' rights, while we have the right to work!
When the man moves around, you perceive some serious abs underneath his tight-fitting shirt. This man is in shape.
Wie kommt es, dass Sie ein Muskelpaket sind, die andere Streikbrecher aber solche Lauche?
I work hard, and I would work even harder if the fuckers would let us work!
Was sind diese ganze Streikbrecher?
Honest men and women with rights to work, to be useful, not toys for corporate interests.
Der Mann fährt sich mit der Hand durch sein stetig grauwerdenes und militärisch geschnittenes Haar. Stetig. Steadily.
We came here to help the harbor run smoothly in time of crisis. If union fucks don't want work, they ought to let in those who do want work.
I have a question. Why do all these men follow your leadership?
You think they follow because I'm big and loud? No. They follow the rules of the market, the rules of the economy, because they were given a job to do!
You've been talking to him for quite a while now. Something is off with this guy. Ask him where he's from.
Okay, ich muss fragen. Woher genau kommen Sie?
What's it to you?
Sie kamen mir einen Augenblick lang echt bekannt vor.
No. Don't think we've met before. I
That's-
came to help out the people.
Das verstehe ich schon. Ich interessiere mich für Ihre Herkunft.
We're all workers, right? Workers stick together. Came from the eminent domain in Jamrock.
Jamrock?
Backgrounds in odd jobs, heavy lifting, cargo hauling, bouncer work. I know the drill.
A monstrous shadow high above the fire traps of the domain. The 881 motorway running over this district of Jamrock. Concrete pillars rise up from the midst of the dilapidated wooden houses. On the horizon, barely visible, the hazy machinery of the harbor.
Du schlotterst in Atmos in deine Hände.
Life in the domain is even worse off than in Martinez.
Oh no.
The cold air is stiff from the fumes of the motor carriages and lorries roaring overhead. Below, broken down, battered people mill on the dusty streets with no purpose. Yet amongst them, there is no sight of this man. Nowhere.
Sie stammen nicht aus der Domain.
Yeah? What makes you say that?
Dort kennt sie keiner.
They know me. That's bullshit.
Widmet mit seinen Aufmerksamkeit wieder den Hafentoren. Widmet. I've seen that word before and I don't know what it means. Widmen. Dedicate. Turns his attention to. Okay. Welches Ziel verfolgen Sie hier genau?
We were promised work. We'd be in there, working, if the bastards hadn't shut the gates.
Und Sie können sich keinen Zugang verschaffen?
Main gate's locked. Would take heavy ordnance to bust it open. Could try to get in through the secretary's office. Door's locked. The guards blocking the way to the access panel. And I don't mean the scrawny mess punk either. I mean head measurer. Or whatever he is.
Moment. Schädelvermesser?
Huge Seminese guy standing up there on the overhead passage. Won't let anyone by. The access panel is right behind him.
Wie schlimm kann ein Typ schon sein? Sie sehen so aus, als könnten Sie mit ihm aufnehmen.
Bad. Standing on a narrow bridge, he's got a strategically advantageous position. And he's trained. I don't know how the Union has a trained killer up there. But that one's no joke. And my men are tired and hungry. They're workers, not fighters.
Haben Sie darüber nachgedacht, den Hafen zu stürmen, zusammen mit allen?
Why don't you go arrest them instead? I'm sure they've done plenty of criminal shit. They have that look.
Die sehen schon so
It
aus.
would be better for the neighborhood if you went home, at least for now, if you can't get in anyway.
No! They will give up eventually. Or get drunk. Leave the button unguarded. Then we charge.
Der Mann kratzt sich am Kiefer. Ist perfekt geformt, kantig, vom leichten Bartwuchs bedeckt. Ich verschwinde jetzt einfach. Beschreibt mit der Abkürzung EHGR. Der Industriehafen von Groß Rivershall. Okay, gut.
Scab?
Strikebreaker? Fragt der Mann mit den fröhlichen Augen und neigt dem Kopf.
What did he just call you? Oh no, not this again. You just got away from that fucking kid.
No! Not that word again. Nein, nicht noch so etwas. Was war schon wieder für ein dreckiges Wort? Wieder so etwas wie...
No, I said scab.
Was genau ist ein Strikebreaker?
A kind of a worm, content with mere survival. They come, they want to do our job for shittier pay, screwing over both themselves and us. Everybody loses.
Augenblick, wo kommen die denn alle her?
Beats me. Somewhere in the ground, I think.
Sie scheinen sie nicht besonders zu mögen.
Gotta be bloody stupid or freaking evil to scab. Or I guess scared, maybe. But scared of what? Of who?
Wirft einen Blick auf die Menschenmenge und kneift die Augen zusammen, als versuche herauszufinden, wofür die Leute Angst haben.
Personally, I'd rather beg than scab. If the gentleman shouting on the street came begging, maybe they'd have gotten something.
Haben Sie versucht, mit ihnen zu
We've
reden?
explained the matters, but they don't listen. This lot would be reasonable and go home if the big guy wasn't riling them up all the time.
Ich bin kein Strikebreaker, ich bin Polizist.
I was just messing with you. No one's ever seen a cop scab. Imagine, you cops going on a strike, but then another cop comes in and says, let us cop for less money.
Kickert, doch dann realisiert etwas.
Speaking of, what brings the RCM here? To the wild north? Come to see the strife?
Ich bin nach Martinez gekommen, in einem Mordfall zu ermitteln.
Murder, huh? That sounds like a lot of hard work. You'd never see me investigating a murder.
Vielleicht wollen Sie mir ja helfen, den Fall zu lösen, indem Sie mir verraten, wer es war.
Of course, Policia. It wasn't me. You
Policia.
can rule me out. Easier that way.
Ich muss wissen, was sich hinter diesen Toren befindet, und ich bin auf Erkundung.
My friend, I respect the right to roam. The open range awaits.
Blickt mit einem sehnsüchtigen Funkeln in den Augen über den Kreisverkehr. Heißt das, dass Sie mich durch das Tor lassen können?
I don't operate in that capacity. I'm not a granter of passage. The passage grants itself.
So einfach ist das? Ich kann einfach hineinspazieren?
I walk right
Aye.
past Measurehead and go in.
Ein Schädelmesser vorbei?
Yeah, the 2.5-meter tall Semini supremacist there. Walk right past him,
Verstehe.
then press the button to unlock the door,
Aha,
then go past him again,
okay.
and you enter the arbor through the office. Está.
Da. Ah, verstehe. Ich glaube, ich habe vorher ein paar Fragen an Sie. Irgendwie verschlägt mich das Gefühl, dass es nicht ganz so einfach
Don't
wird.
worry, I'm sure it's not completely impossible. For example, you could best Measurehead in a physical confrontation,
Yeah, I could.
or you could convert to a Semini supremacist worldview, or, maybe it actually is completely impossible.
Hat ihn hier schon einmal jemand in einer körperlichen Auseinandersetzung besiegt?
Not yet, no. He's incredibly strong.
Nothing a couple of solid hooks from Dexter and Sinister won't fix.
Dexter and Sinister, the name of my fists. Verstanden, noch etwas.
Sure.
Ich bin gerade ein bisschen knapp bei Kasse. Können Sie mir ein bisschen Geld geben?
Sure thing, my friend. I can help you out.
Schnippt dir eine Münze zu.
The coin
Oop.
narrowly slips by your outstretched fingers and falls to the ground.
Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to throw it like that. It's a thing we harbor folk do, passing around cargo and such. Was not meant as provocation or ridicule.
The boyadero stares at you with respect. Then gestures towards the trickles of blood adorning your clothes.
That is not what is said again. Lieutenant Kitsuragi hebt die Monster auf und reicht sich dir. Besten Dank.
Right, always glad to help out the RCN. We're on the same branch, you and I. Humans, I mean, not slithering scabs.
Warum geht es bei dem Streik überhaupt?
You know, serious business. I'm sure the big boss will be glad to tell you. You'll have to ask him first.
He's a chatty guy. Wants to talk about the strike. Return once you've met the union boss and are on a better footing with the organization.
Nettes Gespräch, ich muss jetzt los. Ein hermetisch verschlossenes Tor, sie ist elektronisch verriegelt. Diese Tor lässt sich weder knacken noch eintreten. Auf einem Schildchen steht im Streikfall Knopf hinter Wecker drücken. Schädelmesser.
Nobody betrays your degeneracy.
That's a famous line.
Yeah, Measurehead. His body totally betrays his degeneracy.
Stimmt die junge Frau an der Seite des Riesen zu.
Your body does not betray your degeneracy. That's a lie. You're in great shape.
Mein Körper kundet nicht von meiner Degeneratheit. Du müsstest ihn zuerst schwiegen vom Kopf bis
Are
Fuß.
you admiring my morphophysiology?
Unter seiner Haut bewegt sich ein Muskelstrang. Er lässt sich zuschauen.
It must be frightening to stand in the shadow of this racial pinnacle. Be calm, Sandwich. You are not in danger because you are not a threat to me.
Love the voice acting so much. Du streckst die Brust raus und schweigst weiter.
What is this androgynous display of sexual maturity?
Sieht dir durch herab und begutachtigt deine Statur.
Things are not as bad as they look. Sure, you have high blood pressure from metabolizing heroic quantities of ethanol, but you are robustly built.
Yes.
You will survive.
I can see you were once an athlete, then deteriorated in your 20s. It is typical of your haplogroup. Let's blame the failed education system and leniency towards degenerates in your homeland.
Jean-Luc, his body is betraying his degeneracy pretty hard. Maybe you can ask him to leave.
Mein Körper kundet nicht von meiner Degeneratheit.
You have succumbed to Al-Ghul.
Er verzieht angewidert das Gesicht, als rieche er eine tote Ratte.
You reek of it. An invisible sword of Al-Ghul emerges from your throat. You cannot see it, but others can. It is making the woman in my company sick.
Moment, Al-Ghul?
Yes, Al-Ghul.
Aber was ist Al-Ghul?
Al-Ghul is an ancient Ilmaran poison, a parasitic fungus that has colonized your race. It is a trick the desert pygmies played on you for humiliating them and stripping them of their land.
Sie meinen Alkohol?
Correct, my small skull servant.
Er nickt zustimmend. Sie haben recht, ich bin ein Diener Al-Ghuls, aber ich muss trotzdem in den Hafen.
No, you don't. You need to get another drink. Occidental Haplogroup B4 is done giving orders around here. The influence of the ham sandwich race is waning.
Ham Sandwich Race. Ich bin Polizist und Sie müssen meinen Anweisungen Folge leisten. Jetzt! Du machst einen Schritt auf zu ihm zu.
Jerking motions. Signs of a late-stage neurodegenerative disorder. How far the Occidental Haplogroup has fallen. You were once a noble and powerful race. You gave the world eugenics,
No.
electricity, and powerful weapons of war like missiles and aerostatic aircraft. You made great gains in metallurgy, race theory, and statecraft. You dominated lesser cultures, like the deformed Hemians and the inexplicably potato-obsessed Koikos. But now your ascent to the genetic summit has halted. You are obsessed with sadness and with frivolous pop culture. You will be superseded. Isn't that right, babe?
Pupchen.
It is, baby, yeah. You know it.
Fiddlemessel's Pupchen.
There is a button right behind him, just out of reach. It must be the one that opens the door to the harbor.
Du schiebst ihm zur Seite. Oh, that didn't work.
That is right. You should leave the stage of history with dignity by inviting the other races to a great world war. Bring your troops to the Simonine Islands and to Boogie Street, and we will pulverize you. When you are gone, we will build a museum for you. The walls will be lined with bottles of Al Ghul, your beloved beverage. Inside, we will store the odes to homosexualite you call art, and your microcephalic skulls.
This is your chance. He's talking.
Yes.
Rip into him with a punch and catch him off guard. No, don't rip into anyone. You're sensitive. Remember? Communicate.
Die Situation ist dagegen. No. Was sollen ihre Tätowierungen bedeuten?
Racists are generally not very good examples of their race.
Zeigt auf den Lastwagenfahrer, der unten auf der Straße steht.
I am not like them. I am craniometric perfection. I have taken the trouble to permanently draw a phrenologic grid on my skull and features. This should dispel any doubt.
True. That is a noble cranium. But you got a hard noggin yourself.
Sind Sie sicher, dass ich Ihnen nicht craniometrisch überlegen bin?
You exhibit forward projection of the jaw.
Oh my gosh.
Indicative of schizophrenia.
Schädelmesser.
Sexual inaccountability. From a purely aesthetic standpoint, the dimple in your jaw makes you look like a baby.
No!
This is not craniometry. Just an observation.
Mein Kindgrübchen. Ich liebe es.
It is impossible to see any more of your bone structure. It is covered in the ravages of Al-Ghul. From what remain of your features, I can see fleshy lips, baldness of the head, and long arms relative to lower limbs. This leads me to conclude you are not a police officer.
Hmm?
You are a common criminal.
Oh, ich
An
bin
offspring
Polizist.
of murderers and sailors from Sur la Clé and Vesper. And possibly even the degenerate sheep herders of Ubi.
Interessant. Also kam ein Teil meiner Vorfahren aus Sur la Clé und der andere aus Vespa?
Your racial heritage is uninteresting. It is the same as all Rivasholians. Your parents and their parents made the decision to reproduce while under the influence of Al-Ghul. That is the only reason you are here.
He's right there. It's almost impossible to get it on unless you're both drunk. It's too scary when people are sober.
Okay. 58%. Let's try it. Yes.
Just like that, instinct took over. A solid strike straight into his throat, into the cartilage. You could swear you felt the soft palate break. The man is reeling, gasping for air. Time stands still around you. In the distance, the sounds of the harbor. All you hear is a small gurgling
Right.
sound as a trickle of blood appears on the man's lip.
Oh no.
He's open. Rip into him. Right hook. Escalated. Get intimate with him. Bring the hurt closer.
Moment, was soll ich machen?
Don't wait. You've only got a millisecond. He's coming too. Time is breaking loose from the stupor. His left hand curls up into a fist.
Du weichst zurück, springst hoch und vollführst einen 360-Grad Drehkick. Krass.
The man lands with a dull thump, like a broken down puppet of muscles and sinew. For a moment, he still tries to keep his head up, dazed eyes looking at you with unimaginable surprise. To your left is the button.
Willkommen in Rivershore.
As you slam your fist on the button, the man collapses.
I think that's supposed to be
entirely,
racist, but I
his
didn't want to be
head
racist.
rolling to the side.
Sorry.
Looks like you're the new measurehead now.
Ich bin der neue Shadowmesser.
No one is the new measurehead. Let's go before he gets up.
Der Lieutenant hastet zur Tür. Eine Kiste. Geld. Hallo, Shadowmesser?
The man is
Shadowmesser?
still knocked out. He breathes slowly and steadily. It'll take a few moments for him to recover.
Okay, das ist alles für heute. Danke fürs Zuschauen und tschüss.